Welcome to Dare Education Awareness, where you can find the latest news on all Dare County schools, the Coastal Studies Institute, and the College of the Albemarle. We keep you informed, entertained, and up to date on education in Dare County.
So CTDs are typically used by scientists to calculate temperature, salinity, and depth at a site. You can do it with a deployed mooring or with a cast. In our case, we're going to be modifying the pressure sampling rate to capture the wave field of the Outer Banks sounds, and this will be for a small-scale wave energy characterization.
We are going to be deploying these things for about 2 months in various locations off of docks and wharfs around the sounds. And the main goal is going to be to measure, using the pressure sensor on board these things, the water level, and from that, measured in bursts, the wave height and period. And from that, we should be able to see trends when storm systems come through and how that influences water level and salinity and temperature, as well as how winds influence our local tides in the sounds. So a CTD is usually something that costs scientists or a team of scientists between $10,000 and $30,000, and we're able to build one designed by Dr. Andrew Thaler at a price of sub $400.
So the OpenCTD is built on 3 core principles. The first principle is that it's open source. So everything inside the OpenCTD is released under an open source software license or hardware license. So that includes all the source code, all the support code for calibration, all of the code to allow you to customize the system. The second core principle is that they're low cost. We are really focused on a system where you can build the entire thing for significantly less than the cost of a commercial unit. And then the third value we have is that they're accessible. We've focused on finding electronics and hardware components that are readily available across a range of retailers. So if you want to build your own OpenCTD, you can do that by getting parts from your local hardware store.
So this is an OpenCTD. It is constructed with PVC. The cap is just a plumber's cap, and we have all of the electronics and all the wires inside, as well as the battery pack, which powers the OpenCTD. On the bottom, we have 3 temperature sensors, as well as a conductivity probe. And in the middle, we have a pressure sensor. From the sensor package, we then interpret what the CTD is reading.
So the OpenCTD workshop that we hosted here at CSI was an Educating the Educators workshop. The idea was have people come in, teach them how to build these, and then how they can deploy and collect data from them. I'd like to see as the future of OpenCTD in the Outer Banks, something where the community buys in and community members come and learn how to build one themselves, and we'd like to get it to the point where they can deploy it on their dock or their duck blind or wherever they would like to put it in a way that it has minimal upkeep for them. Right now, the public is limited in their access to the data because we have to go and deploy and recover these, but the next iteration on this, we would like to have a data reporting mechanism that feeds directly into a data portal that would be accessible by the users, by scientists, by educators. We want it to be accessible in a way that maybe there's a mobile app and you can go to a website and check what the salinity and temperature is in the water right behind your house. I've heard from local fishermen that they're thrilled about that idea because then they can get a better idea of when do they catch drum, when do they catch trout.
So the OpenCTD, in addition to providing this tool to researchers and ocean knowledge seekers who want to learn more about their local waterways, it also provides a tremendous STEM experience for students.
So for community members and organizations or schools that would like to be involved with research like this, they can contact us because we would like to further this project and create outreach opportunities where community members can build their own and then submit data to a data portal, and then the community as a whole, the Outer Banks as a whole, will have access to this data.
Dare County Schools Teacher of the Year is a big honor, and no one deserves it more than Miss Jordan Reekes.
I became a teacher because I really wanted to be a voice and advocate for kids who couldn't advocate for themselves. I started my career in special education. That was really important to me to dedicate 10 solid years of my career to kids who maybe were differently abled than the rest of us, and just be able to give back to them and make them feel like they were a part of their peers. And that's really what I'm trying to do in this classroom, being a 5th grade teacher now, is bridge that gap. When I first started, I was shy and I didn't really have a voice for myself. And I learned through advocating for children how to advocate for myself as well. And that's been a really big piece. And now, because of that skill, I've been made team lead of 5th grade now for 3 years in a row. And that feels really special to be able to use my voice now to not only help children, help myself, but also help adults. So I think that I got to this place of being Teacher of the Year because of things that I do, like buddy class and adopting another class and doing activities throughout the year and room transformations like this.
Jordan is such an inspiration to teachers not only at Manual Elementary School but all across the district. She cares not only for her kids but for all the kids in the school. For instance, we have these buddy days where she allows my kindergartners and her 5th graders to partner and to be together to have these great learning experiences, but they're making memories that they'll never forget.
We do activities throughout the day that mirror each other through very similar themes, but at the same time, it comes back to, at the end of the day, an activity that we culminate together where the kids get to be with each other. They get to be with their buddy. And that provided so much more last year for my kids who were differently abled than I ever thought was possible. And that, to me, is priceless. That community that I create with that other class every single year, you can't put a price tag on.
She comes to work every day with the belief that she can make a difference in this child's life, in her classroom, and her emphasis in that never wavers, and she also builds that up with a powerful ability in herself to be a relationship builder. And what she does really well with that relationship is she creates experiences for her kids in her classroom that they would never, ever forget.
She has worked really hard to offer her room as a place for other teachers to be able to watch and model that, to be able to see how it works.
I love learning, but sitting and listening to somebody for 8 hours of a day is really hard to do. And so if I transform rooms like I did today for kids, I get to reinforce skills through really fun activities where they don't even realize that we're reviewing something that we did on a test last week and I'm using the most missed questions, or I'm analyzing data and I'm putting it back into this classroom through a room transformation that makes learning fun. They get excited to come back to school. They want to come to this place, and it creates an environment where everybody can feel like they have equal parts to share, no matter their ability level.
She demonstrates leadership at Manly Elementary School by taking on roles and setting a new standard for excellence. She's also demonstrated leadership by creating a movement around experiences for all students.
If I could give any advice to the people that, stay in this career longer than 5+ years, remember that there is still joy in learning. There is joy in this job every single day if you look for it. And creating things like this is as much for me as it is for the kids. I love making learning fun, and it should be fun. And we should remember that at the core of value of all of these things is the children. It's not about the data, it's not about the adults, it's about these kids. And how do you want them to come into your classroom and feel every day? And my value is I want them to feel included and welcomed. And through flexible seating and couches and things like that that exist throughout, without all of these things around me, room transformations just add to that. We're able to give back to the kids, but give back to yourself.
I've really enjoyed being out here on the Outer Banks because if you can get to a coastline, you've automatically got a perfect place to do some stargazing. To give someone their very first view of Saturn's rings through a telescope is a fun thing to see. To watch that light bulb light up and show them the craters of the moon, show them some of Jupiter's moons, it's always exciting to see kids or adults seeing that for the first time. I'm Todd Kruger. I'm the chair of the Natural Sciences Department at the College of the Albemarle, and I teach astronomy and physics classes. So COA has been doing these astronomy events called COA Star Nights or our Evening Under the Stars for quite a while. It started as just a simple idea that we have tools and expertise that would be really helpful to share with anybody who has an interest in astronomy. So we wanted to provide an opportunity for people to come get some hands-on experience with telescopes to see what it is you can see in the night sky. And as it sort of grew from there, we kept coming up with ideas of things we wanted to add. Thought, well, why not throw in a little bit of a demonstration of how a telescope works? If you wanted to build this telescope on your own, we thought, well, are there other things that people might be able to enjoy that they haven't seen in the world of astronomy? We came up with the idea of a walking loop. From there, it just sort of snowballed. We ended up with so many different activities that we were coming up with to try to not only accentuate the fun things that we can do, but to showcase some of the science behind the things we're doing. So if you come to more than one Star Night event, you will see different things at each of these campuses. Our latest night under the stars here at the Dare campus featured a lot of optics experiments. So we had a Webb telescope sort of theme, trying to show that while the visible spectrum that, say, the Hubble telescope has been photographing these gorgeous photos of for a couple decades, the new Webb telescope is actually mostly in the invisible parts of the spectrum. So it was really nice to see so many members of the public coming out to enjoy science and just experience some of the depth behind all the photos and all the astronomical things that we know. The Star Night events that we've been holding are open to all ages. We tend to have a focus on some activities. We have various tables with either arts and crafts with an astronomy theme or a simple experiment, and those are accessible to everyone from the youngest of us to adults. We've had a lot of fun. It's been rewarding. We often get a lot of people who have been interested in astronomy, but they just don't have the equipment, they don't have the time, they don't have the expertise, whatever it may be. But you can look at the universe on any clear night and get a brand new perspective for everything out there.